you sure you want to do this?
Well, we're here.
There's been enough bad vibes this week, so...
It's nothing but good vibes.
Good vibes now.
Always good vibes.
We'll get some rage out and we'll move on. Randy's back. Feels like old times.
All we need is the old studio back.
No dusty lofts. Living it big now.
Let's go. What is up, YouTube? It's James from Robin Henry Watches.
We back. We angry. It's time to do some ranting.
Ranting. I haven't done a rant in a while.
Exactly.
I don't even know what I'm going to rant about.
Exactly.
You're about to tell me.
And this is the surprise. So I know you've got a lot of rage, especially when it comes to watches and difficult people.
No, I'm a lover, not a fighter.
I want to know what you're not angry about, but disappointed about in watch brands.
Oh, okay.
In general. So
there's a lot of disappointments out there.
Speaking of disappointment, what are you wearing?
Whoa, 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 whoa. This is not a disappointment. This is the Tudor Black Bay 58 in solid 18 karat yellow gold. Beautiful watch. Really cool green dial, green bezel.
The Harrods, not Harrods edition.
The Harrods, not Harrods edition. The only thing that disappoints me on this watch is the sapphire case back, which I feel is completely unnecessary. It should just be gold. If it was gold, would I keep it still? I don't know. I need a date. The only brand that I let off for not giving me my date window, which I know is very, it's a very contentious issue, is Cartier gets away with it.
They do bring the date window out occasionally.
I don't think the camera can see that, but can you imagine putting the date window on the crash? You wouldn't even be able to see it.
I don't even know where you put it. Put it in the case back.
Yeah, put it in the case back.
It wouldn't surprise. They've done some.
But no, stuff. I mean, I do because day to day I like to have my date. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. I use it all the time, but I get the whole symmetry up. It's a cool watch. So yeah, it's in the shop.
Cyclops or no Cyclops?
Good question. I think I'd like to take it with the Cyclops. I think Cyclops only works with Rolex, so I'm putting this in the Rolex family. But outside of that, it'd be a bit weird if other brands did it. Yeah,
it weirds me when you see it on the Sea Dweller. Because you're so used to seeing it, it's just so...
That's what I like about the Sea Dweller.
In your face, but not in your face.
I like it just out.
It looks like it's a really bad fake and they've just kind of forgotten to put it in there. Yeah, but when you're conditioned to look for fakes and things, you're like, there's something missing.
That'd be a pretty big tell to put on a Rolex to miss something off.
You've seen how bad the fakes get out there. Yeah. Cool, so, biggest disappointment, and I'm going to indulge myself here, biggest disappointment in the last 10 years from Cartier.
From Cartier?
From Cartier.
Oh,
indulge me.
They have, listen, everything that they put out is not great. I'm trying to think because I think of them so fondly.
Sorry, everything they put out is not great?
It's not all great.
Okay.
I would say this, this is a very minor one. I think one of the reasons they've had such a big, I don't want to say resurgence, but why they've got so popular in the last couple of years, it's probably been the Santos line. The large models, and we're doing extra large as well in some ranges, they're too bloody big. Because it's the only one, like in the Santos range now, you have to get the large model to get the date window. Good segue there.
It's a very good point, yeah.
And I bought one, as you know, last year, and I sent it straight back. Because I just put it on my wrist, I was like, oh my God, it's huge.
They don't
to be fair, I think they're only 40mm, which to most people, be like, what's wrong with that? The square case, they wear really big.
Oh, yeah, really big.
So that's just not for me. What else would I say? Let's go through, trying to think through their ranges. I'll tell you the other one. Cartier, their Caliber, their dive watch. The Caliber de Cartier, is that what they call it? I don't even know if that's current.
Don't think so.
I nearly bought one a few years ago. Thank God I didn't. They're an absolute abomination to watchmaking and design. Cartier should be in fact, whoever put that out, they should literally, before they fire him, they should drag his French ass to the toilets, boosh, head down the toilet, flush it, chuck a bloody, I don't know, bloody bit of French toast on his head, and flush him down the toilet, because they're
Parisian
awful.
French toast.
I do like French toast, to be fair, so I don't know, maybe something else.
But they just don't really belong in that sector.
No, I get what they're going with the dive watch, but it's like, it was like, what they did is, they took like a normal generic dive watch, maybe like a Submariner, and thought, what can we just add to this design to make it Cartier? and it just felt really cheap. They're thick, they're cumbersome. They've got nothing. They should have gone and completely like started with a blank page and thought, right, we're Cartier. Let's reimagine the dive watch from our perspective, and they didn't do that. And what they turned out was a it was horrible.
They'd have done well to look at something like the Pasha that's obviously got the grill. It's a bit like a diver's helmet and try and evolve that style somehow.
Maybe I just think they should just started from a blank page and just thought, let's do something. It might have come out not even looking like a traditional dive watch, and I think that would have been better.
Yeah, that's what they did.
They didn't. So yeah, that one, I should have got to that one first. But the Santos doesn't normally.
I'm looking from anger from the heart.
I would like to see a date window on the medium Santos model.
There's space.
Or just, you could have options, one with, one without.
Yeah.
They do enough variations of it. You know, they do it all in steel. They do steel and yellow gold. They do steel, yellow, gold and diamonds. There's some dial variations. You got white, you got blue. They got gold. They got red. So, well, they could add it in.
Just do it.
They got the best in class bracelet, I would say now, the Santos.
Yeah.
So stick it in. It'll make me happy. But anyway, yeah.
Better make you happy to stick it in.
Stick it to Cartier.
Go from what you hate to hate then. Let's go to what you love to hate. Omega. Biggest letdown.
Their ADs. I don't know. Yeah, you spend tens of thousands with an authorised dealer to be told to do one. Brilliant. But no, outside of that, I would say just if I could pick on an overall theme, it's become their tackiness. I'm not just going to pick on one thing.
You were saying it today.
But you got the thing with Swatch. I get that was a brilliant marketing exercise and allegedly the sales of Speedmaster has gone up. But I would just say this, not that fucking much because you're not the number 2 brand anymore, are you? No. The 007 thing, I definitely think that's a great marketing tool. I'm sure it's had great commercial success, but I feel like that missed a mark.
Yeah.
You think, you know, their ambassador, Mr. I was going to say Craig Davis.
Craig Davis.
He should have been the ambassador rather than the other knob end. Who's always pictured when he's not being paid wearing Rolex. Like,
they should police that a hell of a lot better.
Yeah. That shows that he didn't even believe in the brand.
No.
And I actually think, so that, you know, their latest Seamaster 300 that they did either on the NATO on the mesh bracelet, 2 things with that. One, it's way too big. I know it's titanium, so it's light, but I think overall the aesthetic was good.
Yeah, I think so.
And then price point, 8 Gs. Yeah. It's over 8 grand for that.
Yeah.
Like, you take a Submariner for a few grand less, right?
Exactly.
Which doesn't have, you know, film marketing. Obviously, they can't be held to account because of the terrible issues with release, because someone fucked up releasing the film.
That's right. The year of Omega doing tie-in watches to shit that didn't happen. The Olympics. The Olympics is a good one. I get that partnership as well, but they don't execute it well. No. They've got 2 of the biggest branding opportunities out there.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. And they've done well to get that, but they don't do it well, in my humble opinion.
In fact, they've got 3 if you count the moon. They do that one pretty well. They do it too much. That's the problem with that one.
And I guess, if anything, like the Seamaster 300, you know, we've done a lot of those. In essence, what a great dive watch for the money. I know they've pinged up. They're over 5 grand now, which is a bit like, who do you think you are? But the thickness, it's like the whole planet. Who buys a Planet Ocean these days? Exactly. Nobody. Do you know why? Because they're about this thick.
Yeah, at least with like the Bond Seamaster, it's a lot lighter.
It's lighter, but trim down the thickness. They can do it. I don't know why they persist in doing that. I know like there's some other design points which people don't like the skeleton hands. Doesn't bother me. Or like the Colgate toothpaste cap coming out the corner. I think they could bend that. I get it's all a part of their history, but maybe they could offer one with or without. Because let's be honest, no one uses that helium escape valve, and certainly no one's unscrewing it. No. So does it really need to be there?
It's part of their quest to just be that technical top of the
pile.
And
I get that, and that's admirable from them.
But they can do that with other models.
They could have an automatic release valve, right? So you wouldn't see it. I know then people say, oh, but then you criticise them for copying Rolex, but I don't know. It could just be looked at. It's just the general overall thickness of the watches, which is my main beef. Like they're way too thick. You can't buy any Planet. No normal person will wear any Planet Ocean. No. Other than maybe the 37.5mm. I don't even know if they do that.
But then it's kind of pointless having a Planet Ocean that small because it's not really a Planet Ocean at that point. It's just a horrible watch.
And then the Seamaster 300s are a great watch, but at 42mm, they're big chunks and they're too thick. So yeah, that's my beef with them. And it's all a bit tacky. I do like that you can still buy speed, and they're pricing actually. You know what? They're ramping it up too high. And I know obviously we're going to complain about that as watch collectors, but you're talking well over £6 for a fucking Speedmaster now. Yeah. This is a watch that when I first started collecting, I bought my first one in 2012, brand new for £2,000. Yeah. And it's like, okay, so now
that's not risen in line with inflation at all.
3 times. Like, you had this great watch that, you know, was almost, you could argue, was a Daytona slayer. More history, readily available, better price, and I know it's still better priced, but let's be honest, if you could get the Daytona for £9 retail, we're talking Guernsey here. Yeah. So I'm using a bit yin and yang here, but what are you going to pick? One that devalues by 50% once you've bought it and worn it, or one that goes up 50% when you've worn it?
Exactly.
So
you can't lose.
Yeah.
Well, you can now, these days. Okay, I don't hear you bitch about them much, so put you to the test. Vacheron. Do you have any beef with Vacheron? The fact they have like one model of any interest?
So you're talking about the overseas, I'm guessing. I think that whole range is just fucking awesome. So I've got nothing bad to say. The only negative thing that I could say is they are rather expensive. You're talking over 20 grand now for
an entry level Vacheron, basically.
I bought one. I had the blue dial, and I got that pre-owned for about 13 grand just 2 years ago. Oh my god, I wish I'd kept that. Story of my life. And then I nearly bought another new one in the middle of the pandemic for about 16, 17 grand. Blue one, blue dial, and I was like, got to be safe here. Should have bought it. But the availability is harder to get now, but is that their fault? Yes, no. Can they do much about it? No, they want to be desirable. This is the first time that Vacheron has actually got to join in. It's part of the Holy Trinity.
Exactly.
It's never enjoyed any of the success it now has. They do have other ranges like their 56, which I think are quite cool. Yeah. Even they're hard to get now. Like, fuck off. Make them available. But outside of that, no, Vacheron's... We're all good.
Good. Well done, Vacheron. Okay. Imagine me with a fishing line here. I'm just going to... whoosh, Jacob & Co.
So, I
Ready, set, go.
I reposted something the other day. Let me find it.
Oh, yes,
now,
I forgot.
I am not the originator of this post. So I don't want to be catching no lawsuits. This...
No more lawsuits.
Anyway, is more factual... I mean, this is information that is available on Google. So Jacob Arabo, which started Jacob & Co, I think, what was it, 80s? It's originally like a diamond dealer, jewellery designer dealer.
In the 80s when it was okay to launder money. Wait, no, it wasn't.
No, it was not okay. It wasn't even in the 80s that did it. We're talking 2000s. I think it was... like the late 2000s, as in like 2008, 9, I don't know. Yeah. Oh my god, I post that many stories.
Was he responsible for the financial crash?
He might have been. So this was posted by Horological Dictionary on Instagram, which is an amazing page to follow. It's really good, like watch related memes and stuff. And this guy basically was like, I put Jacob in the Swiss watch business. I don't actually know who it is that's saying this. No. I accepted responsibility from Basel and he doesn't pay his bills. He stole our designs from George Heisek, I'm probably butchering that name, made products and sold them. He went to prison for money laundering just as I'd started to design his booth in Hall 3. He got out, used the design for 4 years and never paid me.
Someone's got an axe to grind.
Jacob has a 5th grade education. He can't draw. Launders money for drug dealers. Nice guy. Listen, I don't know the guy, but who buys a Jacob?
When you hear exactly. When you hear enough about a person, there's got to be something.
This is the fact. He did launder money. I think it was for the Detroit some of the
It was
Detroit
some sort
mob.
of mafia, wasn't it?
Yeah, but probably, pretty sure it's for some Detroit gangsters. That's a fact. He laundered their money.
Yeah.
Like, if you're the head of a Swiss watch company, what are you doing laundering money for some Detroit gangsters?
Especially with the prices they fucking charge.
I know.
Do you need that?
He should be arrested for stealing at the prices of his watches with the shit he's putting out. I don't hate everything they do. I would say this, from the Jacob watches that I've seen, I haven't handled any of their high-end stuff, but to be objective, it looks like it's really good quality. The designs aren't to my taste, but if you're into heroin or crack cocaine, I could see the appeal, but they appear genuinely good quality.
Yeah. There's always a polish is a poor word, but there's always a finesse.
But, I mean, who the fuck would wear one? It's not something I'd want to show people.
No. Just when your arm cut off.
There's a company out in New York that sells discounted brands called Joma Shop. Mm. A few years back, they were selling Jacob & Co. the 5 time zone model, which is one of the worst out there.
That's horrific.
85% off. That tells you everything you need to know about Jacob & Co. If you buy one, you need to be 110% sure that you love it, because if you ever go back to try and sell it, in fact, I would challenge you, if you've bought a Jacob & Co., go back to the person that sold you that watch and ask them to buy it back. Let me tell you what the answer will be.
It'll be eye-watering.
It will be no, or can you just wait there? I'll come back to you, and they'll go out the back door, and you'll never see them again.
Yep.
Yeah, the resales are horrible. The designs are horrible. I don't get anything about it. If I got the designs, or if I liked them and it spoke to me, I'd be okay about it. I mean, it's kind of funny. The guy's into he's into laundering money.
Well, by extension, he's into drug dealing.
Well, yeah, I'll find it, but I don't want to catch up. I mean, these are just facts. This is what you can find it freely available online.
Cool.
I'm sure he's a lovely guy, but I don't get them.
No.
I just listen. If I was a multi-billionaire tomorrow, I'd buy one for a laugh and we'd shoot a video about it.
As an engineering kind of work of art, I get it, but yeah, not as a. But then I suppose we don't think like multi-millionaires because...
Listen, if you're into really high-end horology, Jacob & Co. is not that.
No. And
you would go to someone else, like Philippe Dufour, Patek's, or I'm just trying to think of some of the independents. Roger Smith.
Yeah. Langer.
Even Langer, I mean, that's a bit common muck, but, if you're talking at the
it's
very
still above
high
my
end...
pay grade.
Yeah, mine too. Max Boosters, there's people to go to get that, which do it better. And not only that, when you spend that money, your money's sick.
Let's open it to the floor. Who do you want to rant about?
Oh, do you know who's done a really shit job for a long f***ing time?
Tagoy?
Well, yeah.
Hublot?
Yeah. I don't want to pick beef at them. I would say Breitling.
Yes.
It just goes from bad to worse. So when George Kearns took over the company as their head, and they got a private equity firm to buy out, they had a real opportunity there. And to be fair, from what I hear, commercially, it's been successful. But who has it been successful with? In terms of the watch collecting community, no chance. You've
got to love Breitling to
Last year, we went to a Breitling boutique that was in a discount village, and it was a Breitling-owned boutique, and every watch was on discount.
It's like half price.
When you display your whole range discounted, that says a lot. But what struck me is just the overall size of these things. They're not just big; they're mammoth.
Yeah.
And you've got great ranges like the Navitimer.
You're talking like Invictus,
which almost. Is like the 43s are okay. They're actually still pretty good, but the 46s, come on, do me a favour. Their dive range, the Super Oceans, they've just redesigned it and made it. If it could have got any worse, I don't know how they did that. I mean, they literally paid someone to make it worse. They took out all the decent sizing. Like if you can do 46. 42 millimeter, Why can't you do a 40? Why can't you do a 38?
Yeah, those sizes, it's like Bella Ross in Victor territory. Like, no one can wear that.
Do they do a 36 anymore? They used to, which is obviously like the ladies model. Like, it's not. It's a big 36 as well.
And let's get away from like the ladies model stuff. Like, just do it by size. I mean, you've seen like my brother's wrists. He qualified for ladies models in everything. I
don't think they need to differentiate now between ladies and men. They should just do sizes. I'm not trying to be like, oh, gender neutral.
No, I'm the same. You know, I feel like.
I just think they should just do it by size, because women don't need everything painted pink and with loads of diamonds on. I want the diamonds for a start. They're not just for the women. Just everything's disappointed. Everything they brought out, like when they did, they brought out the Premier collection. I don't know if you remember this, but I bought the what's that one, the salmon dial with the calendar on it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
42. I can't remember what's called. Is it the datograph? I can't remember. Anyway, it's just a normal chronograph with the moon phase, and I bought that thing. My God, it literally stood up to here on my wrist. I had to send it straight back because design-wise, in terms of its aesthetics, it looked really good in pictures, but in person, it was fucking huge. And yeah, I just think, you know, I know they're not independent fully because they're owned by this private equity firm, but I just think he's allowed to do what he wants there pretty much by the look of it.
Yeah.
The marketing's just fucking tasteless as fuck.
I saw what T&H did, like, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. So what Christian from Theo and Harris did is he really loves the brands as well. Recognises commercially they've done very well, but they're not speaking to watch collectors. And if watch collectors picked up onto it, it would be way more popular in the popular market. You have to remember, back in the 2000s, put the whole rap thing aside, Breitling was up there. It was mentioned with Rolex. Yeah,
right. I like Breitling.
In fact, if anything, it probably had a better name than Omega back then. Yeah. Whereas now it's just like this budget brand, which is just cool.
That's the thing. Breitling speaks to heritage, but they're not speaking with it.
So Christian, he did that video where he's, you know, he overdid a bit. Oh, I did it free of charge.
Licking their bums.
They were never going to pay me for it. I didn't want them to pay me for it. So well, you keep mentioning it. But anyway, the point is, I mean,
he sunk like 15 grand into it, so he can bleat on a little bit.
Yeah, I get that, but he did do a really good video, and I think that he would do a much better job, a way better job at their marketing of speaking to us genuine watch consumers, and maybe could just give them like an hour's talk about what people actually want. Yeah. They don't want 46mm, you know, watches that are 20mm thick. We don't want that. There's some good stuff, some slight tweaks in their range, and it could suddenly be very good. And it would be nice to have a brand, because obviously every model is ready, available whenever you want it. They'll probably send a drone over your house and deliver it to you in an hour. Prices. At reasonable prices. But they're missing the mark. He recognises that. And they're that arrogant, they didn't even have a conversation with him to be open to it.
That we know of.
That we know of. That's fair.
This is when he resigns from T&H tomorrow to take over Breitling.
Yeah.
It could happen.
He should do. I mean, I don't think he would, because he's got his own stuff going on. But yeah, that would be... He would do a better job of it. It has improved from where it was, to be fair. But it's just... It still just misses the mark. Because, oh no, they f***ed it up again. Could have liked it. No.
You could say it's flying over their heads. Yeah. Get it? Because flying planes, Breitling. Meow.
I'll tell you the other is as well. I want to get to it.
Is it another Brit sound?
Yeah, it is. Me.
I like Bremont. It's just...
In its essence, I like them. They're a bit too much sometimes. Like it's more of a marketing company, a manufacturing marketing company.
They're like Omega to the Moonwatch, but with their whole collection.
It's just too much, and it's like their pricing is getting out of hand for what they are. I think they just need to hold their pricing for a few years to be competitive, because what they're putting out, you know, with generally modified ETA movements, I know they've now in-house, which essentially is what they've done is they bought a movement manufacturer, so they now own it. Ergo, they are now, it's in-house. I mean, but that's a very loose...
It's a technicality.
It's a technicality. I mean, obviously, what's the new watch? Is it called the Supernova?
Super something.
I think it's the Supernova. I should have researched this.
I mean, it's not like I gave you time.
They've got The case obviously looks like it's been stolen from the Patek Nautilus.
Okay, I know what you mean.
The bracelet has been stolen from the AP Royal Oak. It's like there's a. Do you know what they need? They need a win. That's what they need.
Yeah.
Like,
for example, one of their marketing times to be something people care about.
Like even Chopard, no one really cares about them, and everyone laughed at their Alpine Eagle when it came out,
including you.
No, I didn't. I was on record.
Laughed at the name.
I laughed at the name. I said the name is awful, but the watch is nice. I like the watch.
Fair.
And they're hard to get watches, but they're nice, and they've really helped the brand. Even Gerard Perregaux, you got the Laureato. I don't know how you pronounce it. I'm gonna go with that.
That's fairly
you know, and they're hard to get now.
Yeah.
Even still.
GP's got some prestige.
And they're bringing out the 38mm range now, which I think is going to be fire. I think that is the size it needs to be, because the 40, is it 42 or 41? I think it's the 42.
It's big.
Dave had one and I tried it on, but too big for me. But Bremont have got nothing.
No.
So
I still get flashbacks to that MB2.
In fairness, a great watch at the price I was selling it at, and having to sell that less than half price and take a loss on it for a brand new unworn watch. It
felt solid. The packaging was really nice.
Yeah.
It actually felt quality, like real quality.
Listen, I would still say this. I think the only really thing that I like in their range is the Martin Baker range. But if I bought one, it would have to be for me, and I would not wanting to be selling it. But the problem I still have, it's a thick watch.
Yeah.
You know, I've got to
beef them up.
Yeah.
Cool. Have you got any wares to share with us? Probably not.
No.
There's some excitement coming through the shop though.
Got this.
Private sales.
Not seeing it. Another Rolex Modern. That's a Submariner.
Yeah.
That's an Explorer 2 Polar. They're spoken for.
They are spoken for already. That's how quick things go through.
Clever people contact me and get me to source stuff. Or say, when you get that, let me know. So.
Tasty.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think that's it.
Do you feel better?
I think I do. I actually feel I was actually quite reserved.
I'd say so.
So
it's not been enough like rage, but
I can't get angry.
No.
It's late at night and I'm tired.
You're not an angry person, it's fine.
I'm not always an angry person.
Cool. Subscribe. Right. Like.
Is this going to be out Halloween? When's Halloween? Halloween.
It'll be after Halloween.
Has it already happened?
Yes. Spooky season's over.
Check me out going through the timeline.
Didn't we have this last year? I distinctly remember us having a conversation about Halloween being...
I'm excited for Halloween. Do you know what I'm really annoyed about? I'm not going out on Halloween yet.
It's Monday. Who's going out on a Monday?
Go on Saturday night.
It's not Halloween.
It's near enough. It's like your birthday's on the Monday. You're not going out to the club on a Monday.
Hey, last time I went out on Halloween, bad things happened.
Listen...
Or were they good things?
All good things come around to those who wait.
Something came that night anyway. Moving on.
Yes. Anyway.
Away from my personal dramas. We're out.
This has got weird. Yes.
Goodbye.
Check out the web shop. Cheers. Bye.